Hey, I'm Robbie Kramer. You're listening to the Leverage Podcast, where we discuss using your social skills to hack dating, travel, finding your dream job, and becoming a complete man.
So I was figuring for this podcast, we could talk about the fact that we both have girlfriends now. And I think if you were to ask, 100 people in the Kyiv party scene, who are the two guys who are least likely to have a girlfriend?
Ever.
The answer would have been
Although I gotta show you this, man. I've
Yoni.
never bought flowers in my life except for my grandma on her birthday. Jeez, look what I've gotten to. Look,
Wow.
Christ.
Flowers
Cost me a
on
fortune too. Cost me a fortune, and I never bought any girls any flowers in my life. Only to my grandma once or twice on her birthday or something like that. So you can
I
obviously
actually,
see how. Huh?
before I moved to Kyiv, I only bought flowers for like my girlfriend on some very special occasion.
Never did that either, brother. Never.
Because I mean, in the US, if you give a girl flowers who you're not like exclusively dating, she's gonna think you're a loser. Like it's probably the same in Canada too.
Here also is the same thing because here she's, like, why did I buy these flowers? Because she's telling me, well, it's not the thing. It's the fact that you think about me and you like want to make me happy. I always
Right.
had a problem with that, especially in Israel. In Israel, when I lived in Israel, we don't buy flowers because it's kind of embarrassing to be walking with it on the street. Like
Totally.
I feel like I'm like, I don't know, like a terrible. I walked half a block yesterday when I bought him. I felt so embarrassed. It was ridiculous.
I feel the same
And the
way. I
second
want to
thing
put
is,
like a bag over the flowers so no one can see me
and the
carrying them.
second thing is, I always tell them, listen, you want something that's gonna die in 4 days. It's like giving you death. I don't see the point of, like, maybe it's my Israeli side talking right now, but buying something that will definitely die, not maybe not, they will definitely die, and a pretty slow and fucked up death. Why the fuck
Yeah.
do you want something like that? And why is it like showing you that, oh yeah, he cares about me, so he's gonna throw this money out in the garbage, basically, because it's something that's gonna die. But this is just for me to like saddle him, into place. That's saying that, oh yeah, like he buys me like useless fucking gifts because he should or he can or whatever. I never understood it.
The psychology around it, I feel, is it's like one of those things that's been around so long. People just kind of, you know, go with the flow rather than
Let's
try
go
to.
for, let's save all these flowers once a month or whatever, and let's go on a trip after. You know,
Yeah.
let's like write down these flowers that I'm
Start
supposed
a,
to use.
we should start a movement for ban the flower giving.
Yeah, don't give death. Don't present
Give
death.
that.
I think it's pretty legitimate. My grandma,
I would. I
I will
would.
not, and I will not try, and I will never convince her that this is wrong. But like, young girls, modern girls, like, why the hell do you want flowers? For what does it do to you?
Yeah. I know. I'm with you. Luckily, they're cheaper in Ukraine than they are in the U.S. So
They're very cheap, but still, like, it's the act of it, and like the walking on the street with it. I walked into downstairs into the to my building, and the concierge saw me with flowers. I thought I'm gonna die, man. I thought I'm gonna die from shame. It was terrible. And then we argued about it a long time ago. I'm like, listen, like, okay, like I buy you the flowers because I caved in because I had no choice.
they love it. They love it so much. But so tell me the story how you ended up with your girlfriend.
Well, we were doing a beauty queen contest. I don't know. I don't remember if you were there. We were
Yeah,
in
I didn't go, but I remember it.
Yeah, so I was organizing with my Top Kyiv Girls PR company. We were organizing a beauty contest at this club we work with, and she like I saw I never seen her before, and I saw her and I was like, wow, she's so like good looking and so like always smiling and always like happy and like this and that. You can sense the energy. And then she won second place. I got pissed off about it, but anyways,
Weren't you the judge?
huh? I was one of the judges, but not the only judge. Like there's other people like voted for some other girls, I guess.
So it wasn't rigged. It's the first
It
beauty
wasn't rigged.
pageant
No,
in
I
Kyiv.
never do rigged stuff. I never like people actually offered me to pay me money to get one of their girls to win or whatever. I never do that. I don't believe in that. I don't think if it's
Yeah.
not authentic, it's not. I don't do it. So yeah. So and then we start talking a little bit, and then like she has amazing personality and very good like energy about her, and like she's always smiling and stuff like that. So we talked that day. She actually met a different guy. She started going out with this other guy that she met at this party, and then I don't know. We start. Oh, we hung out one more time, and the third time I think she realized that I was the only one for her, and we started going out a date.
What happened to the other guy? He just kind of went away.
The other guy was she had a problem with the other guy. He was like violent and like he's like slapped her. It was actually an Italian guy. I couldn't believe it. Italian guy that's living here in Kiev, and she told me that he was abusive and he slapped her and like very fucked up stuff.
Hmm.
Thank God I'm not young anymore like I used to be 10, 15 years ago. I would probably go and get him, but I'm not into that anymore. So yeah, so we're just dating, and now it's the stage when she's like, giving me all these, like trying to muscle me into things. The reason I bought the flowers, by the way, is because I told her I'm not buying flowers. She's like, oh, you have to, you have to. What kind of man are you? You don't buy flowers. I'm like, what do you mean? I don't. That's if you want any other kind of men, then there's a lot of them out there. And she's like, oh, you have to. You have to show me that you care about me. I said, no, I'm not going to. Then she buys herself her own flowers. She puts it on on the story on Instagram, and like going off about like, oh, like this guy makes me feel so like special, blah blah blah. I'm like, I know she bought the flowers for her. Yeah, I'm not a complete idiot. So I blocked her from Instagram, not to see those stories anymore. Yeah, so we
Don't go. Fuck.
good days.
This is recently.
Yeah, it's just like last week. So yeah, so we've been fighting back and forth. So I said, and then my friend's girlfriend got flowers from my friend, and she's following their friend. And then I thought that's it. He fucked me. He completely fucked me. like now I have no choice but to buy her flowers. So I just bought her flowers.
Did you
But
unblock her?
huh?
Did you unblock her yet?
Nah, not from Instagram. It's better like this. It's better like this.
It does solve problems to uh, block your significant other on Instagram.
It's honestly, it's amazing.
Not bad.
I love
There's
it.
so many fights that are caused by Instagram. It's unbelievable. You know.
Yeah. Well, when she's following your stories and stuff like that, she could interpret something that you didn't mean to be a thing, especially in my line of work and my line of things. I have to be a little bit more, you know, show offy. And
Yeah.
sometimes she doesn't interpret the stuff, and she's like, "Oh, what the hell? I saw your story. What is that? What are you doing?" Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, it's my image. It's my whatever I do. It's like thing. It's nothing. Nothing bad has been done, but a little bit of thing. So now I blocked her because of these flowers. And now my life is a lot quieter.
How often do you guys see each other?
She actually moved into my house.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
There's,
and
there's no other point. It's like
what you guys have been dating kind of like around the same time as me and Maria, I think. So like 3.5 months, 3 months.
nah, way after you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so, I think about a month, about 2 months, about something like that. I don't even know the dates.
On
That's
for
the
an event.
next conflict I'm gonna have. I have no idea about what date we start dating, what date we. I have no, absolutely no. If you put a gun to my head right now and ask me when did you start dating, I have no idea. That's the next flowers I have to buy, I'm sure.
Dude, I'm telling you that. So I buy flowers for Maria once a month on our anniversary, which is on the 5th, like our month anniversary. And I mean, for such a easy thing to do, it costs $20. I walk down to the they always sell them in the metro station. Here in Mexico, it's going to be more difficult, so I don't know where the fuck to buy them. But at least in Kyiv, they cost $15, $20, and it's like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. Like, she's so happy about the flowers. I'm like, all right, well, should have been doing this a long
Bro,
time ago.
really, it's not the money, it's not the time wasted on it because honestly, it's
Yeah, it's a principle, of course, that they're gonna die. I'm with you, but I've just kind of learned to accept that part of it, and that's not gonna change. But but back to, so you guys have been together for a couple months. What I'm curious about is, how did your reputation as, a party animal affect the courtship process?
um.
Was she
I
aware of
think
your reputation?
we haven't talked about it, so I think she might be like um denying it or like bottling it up.
How
Kind
did
of.
she? How did she? How did she join the? So you met her at the
At the
at
beauty
the
of this,
beauty
yeah.
pageant. How did she get into the beauty pageant?
How's she what? Sorry.
How did she hear about the beauty pageant?
Oh, because her friend that's in our party cycles, and her best friend is actually like somebody that I know for a while. It's Yulia.
Okay.
It's old Yulia. I don't know if you remember her.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you have to go. You will surely win. And she went and she won second place.
Right.
She's not from this. Honestly, the reason I'm honestly, but bottom line is the reason I'm going out with her. She's because she's not from our circles of like partying and things.
Totally. She's not a
If
woman.
she was, I probably wouldn't take her seriously, and like
Right. The
who we.
girl. Exactly. I mean, that's why I, was interested in Maria, because she was not from our circle.
Yeah, I
And it's
remember she
funny.
was always so shocked when she was in our circle. She was like,
Yeah.
what are you guys doing?"
Who are these guys?
Yeah.
So for me, it was like part of the courtship process with Maria, was undoing my horrible reputation. Um, but it was kind of a double-edged sword, because she knew who I was. I I had a horrible reputation, but at least she knew who I was. So there was some level of intrigue there, because any publicity is good publicity, they say. But the
Exactly.
reason why she kind of came into my life is because I was friends with Anya, and um, I never like I was Anya was just Anya was like 18, and she didn't have a lot of sexual energy. So I never tried to hook up with her. I always kept her as a friend, and I helped her with some business stuff, and I had her work for me. And Anya was always telling Maria, "Oh, you have to meet Robbie. He's such an amazing guy." And that overrode all of the negative shit she had heard about me through just the grapevine. And I feel like most of the negative shit isn't fair. It's a lot of it is tied to, some of the other
I
guys
think
in
you're right.
we
You're right
know.
about there's no such thing as bad publicity thing because it
Right.
obviously makes makes them interested in you because that's what I tell them. Like not to Katya, the girl that I'm dating right now, but in general, she's like, oh, like girl, you know how girls are like, oh, you like this, that, you party, you fucked half of the city. I'm like, all the girls are around you. I'm like, okay, then go find a guy that nobody wants. Like so it's like the egg and the chicken. Like if
Right.
if you're popular, there's a reason why you're popular, and everybody wants to hang around with you or be around you. But then you cannot come to me and say, oh, you're a motherfucker because you hang out with all these people. But if you don't want somebody that everybody wants to hang out with, then go get somebody that's not interesting, that not all the girls like want to hang out with. And this is the case. But in this situation, I think she realized it. Like, she knows, obviously, because she's not, like, she's been living on this earth for the past whatever. But I think she just realizes that, yeah, like, there's there's a territory that you come with. You come, like, you cannot erase the past, or what, or like being like a virgin again, or like, you know, like, there's no it's either you realize that, and she's very, like, out of this the whole scene, and she's, I wouldn't say naive, but she hasn't seen a lot of things. This is a lot of times actually, like, pretty fucks me up, because when she says, oh, I've been such a bad girl, I'm thinking to myself, the bad girls that we know, I'm like, I'm like, hold on, holding to my seat. I'm like, fuck, bad girl. I'm like, what did you do? And she's like, oh, I did this and I did that. I'm like, shit, that's not a bad girl. That's not even nothing.
I stayed up till 5 a.m. and I got a little
Yeah,
too
yeah,
drunk.
yeah. I drank a little bit too much and I felt shitty. I came home late. Oh, I've been such a bad girl. And in my mind, in your mind also, when a girl says I've been bad, it's not bad. It's fucking terrible. A lot of these things like crack me up. But she's an angel compared to what me and you, like, the people that we know and the girls that we know, is like and this is
Right.
what I like about her, because if she was one of the things, I don't think I would be able to take her seriously. Like, there's a lot of people that I like that are from our circles, but I wouldn't be able to seriously be in a relationship with a girl that, like.
Yeah. I mean, that's an interesting point too. Well, so to wrap up the first point, it's the whole idea that, like, girls will complain if a guy is a player, or I don't want to use the word player because that's a negative connotation, but women will complain if a guy has a ton of experience, or they'll be like, oh, he's a slut or he's a man whore, but it won't change the fact that they're still going to be interested in you. It won't cock block you. Whereas being a guy that gets no action will cock block you for sure. So, and one thing I'm constantly running into is guys saying like, oh, I'm looking for a wife.
The conversation will not start if the guy is not interesting.
Right, right.
And if the guy's
I've
not
had,
interesting,
yeah.
there's nothing to talk about.
And I've had guys, a lot of clients and random guys I talk to, like, oh, I'm trying to find something more serious. So I don't want girls to know that I'm social and I'm party. I'm like, you're making a mistake. Like, because now she's gonna think you're boring and that you have no options. So you're gonna, like, girls will forgive you for being a stud. Like, you ever seen the Jim Jeffries difference between sluts and studs?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's like
The guys and the girls,
yeah, it's hard to be a stud. It's easy to be a slut. So
yeah.
girls might be upset that you're a stud, but they'll still respect you for it.
Yeah.
And therefore you can still, you're better off being a stud than hiding it. But then the other point is, um, it's kind of funny that both of us are, we've basically done all of the extreme partying anyone could do, and like had
Yep.
just about the most ridiculous amount of fun with crazy party girls that anyone could do. Yet both, and someone, sometimes I think like, oh yeah, I'm open-minded. I could totally date a girl who was like a total crazy party hoe like me. And I tried a few times, of course.
That's
But
dating. There's a difference between dating and taking somebody seriously.
right.
Like, I've dated girls, like I've dated crazy girls too. It's specific kind of fun. But
Mhm.
how can you be serious? Like, I don't
That's what
know.
I found with the girls that I met that were kind of on my level of crazy. Um, like we'd have fun and we'd party, but I never really trusted them. And I always thought that, and like Pustavar, for example, she's a perfect example. Like, she was great, we we're on the same page, we had a lot of fun, but like I never trusted her, and I always felt like she was just basically when the next cool shiny object came around, like, let me go there, which is
This is
what
what
happened.
it is because that's what it was built on, and that's what how it started to begin with. And this is who the person is. You cannot like, what are you gonna say? Like change? Oh, this is another thing that I have with my girlfriend right now because we're partying and she parties with us. She tells me, "Oh, you have to change." I'm like, "Listen, you're gonna change me. You know, you met me, you like me. Now you're gonna change me. After you're gonna change me, I'm gonna be somebody totally different, and you're gonna say, who the fuck is this?"
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
so I'm like
Not
thinking
gonna
of
like you anymore. Yeah.
so like Pustovar, this is the same thing. You got into this relationship knowing where you stand because you know who she is. So like that's why I say like girls like that I could not take them seriously. I could date them. I could be like in some sort of relationships with them, but it's not really, how do I say it not to hurt anybody's feelings. There's no future. It's just to do something, to to have some kind of fun, to like have some kind of a
But
time in
so
your life to
I
hang
think
out.
yeah, a better way to say that is I had kind of like, even though I was in the crazy sort of lifestyle, I was always kind of looking for a girl that wanted to meet someone through that lifestyle, but then kind of wanted to slow down that lifestyle. Like it's a great place to meet girls and have maximum fun. It may not be the best place to meet the girls who who are more trustable, but it's a great place to just party and have fun,
Yeah,
which you and I both like to do. Um, and I was just always careful not to get too involved with the crazy party girls,
yeah.
um, because the odds of taking someone out of that environment is very, very.
How about Mila?
Well, Mila tried to do it to me. That's a perfect example. Like what I tried to do, I tried to get Pustavar to be normal and have like a normal relationship. Mila tried to get me to be normal and have a normal
But
relationship.
Mila
And that,
cannot. Mila is like, it's like a big fucking like it's like letting the cat watch the cream. I don't even know how to explain it. Mila was like a psycho, like bigger than both of us, I think, together. She's done some stuff that I wouldn't even be proud of. And then she turns around and tells you, but no, but you have to be a good boy now because I said so. How does that work?
I mean, I understand what she was trying to do, because I've done it on the same side too. It's like most people who are in that party scene, I feel like on some level are looking for a partner that they can then exit the party scene with and have more of a normal lifestyle.
Everybody is, man.
Yeah,
Eventually, everybody is looking for love or whatever, or relationship, or everybody is. Like, me and you were never like going around and saying, "Oh, I need to meet somebody today. Oh, I have to meet somebody, or I'm gonna be like." I always took it easy. Like if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, I'm not gonna get out of my way or like sacrifice my life or my thing for something that is not amazing. So
right.
I'm not, even today, I'm not afraid to be, alone for the rest of my life. I don't have any of these issues. So that's why I'm
Yeah.
more relaxed. The people that
That's a
actually,
really important frame. I mean, that's a very healthy frame. Like if you can't be happy alone, you're gonna have a really hard time being happy with someone because you're now, generating that happiness from them. And it's, that's like a needy sort of vibe, and that's not gonna work. They're gonna feel it. So like your approach to getting in a relationship is what I always, try to promote because that's the healthiest place to be. And it's like, I'm having fun. I'm doing me. If it comes along, great. And if it doesn't, I'm okay.
yeah. And I,
So,
I I don't understand these people that walking around like, oh, I have to get married. I have to find a girl. These guys get so fucked at the end of the day. And I've seen them after getting divorced, getting fucking
always.
put together for a lot of, everything. So I don't know. It's, to me, it was always natural not to like, like to be myself, to have fun in the process. And if it comes if something special comes around, then yeah, I was always open for that.
Right.
And I think you're right. This is the right way to go about it because then you also like you said, you that's the vibe that you give around, like this desperateness, or like, like it's like going
Just
down, and like
constantly
these guys,
needing.
yeah, these
Yeah.
guys are willing to do anything and being like somebody else's like doormats, and like girls don't like that.
Yeah.
Girls don't like a doormat. They'll try to make you a doormat after they get together with you. If you fall, you're fucked. This is what
Right.
this is.
It's
This
kind of like a big test, right? It's like girls fantasize about finding like a ridiculous player and turning him into like a perfect house husband. But if you actually turn into that house husband, then she gets bored.
Yeah,
And
she
it's
looks.
like,
Who the fuck is that? I like this, like outgoing, like like macho alpha male guy. And now I made him into a fucking little doormat. Now just every time I walk in home, I like brush my, clean my feet out of him. Who the fuck is that?
yeah,
Like that's not who I liked at the beginning. And
totally. And it's so seductive as a guy to like get a girlfriend and just kind of coast along, be comfortable, want to try to please her. But the act of pleasing her is just putting you more
and then
in the
one
hole.
day you wake up, all your friends even think that you're a doormat, and
Mhm.
you're like, who am I? Like now she like, she gives me like instructions on the phone, like go do this, go do that. And like you lose yourself, and you lose yourself in front of yourself, in front of her, and then she realizes, turns she also wakes up one day and says, who is that? Where's the alpha male that I liked so much?
Right.
Who's this guy wearing an apron, fucking cleaning the kitchen? What happened?
So so that brings up the next question that I'm sure a lot of guys who are watching this will be thinking. Um, if you were a non-monogamous, insano player, man whore, um, at what point do you consider monogamy, or how do you bring up that conversation to avoid monogamy if that's the road you want to take, or how do you get into monogamy without losing your alphaness? Because that's something I can share about with that I've dealt with recently, but I'm curious with what how that
Look,
progressed for you.
my problem with monogamy or non-monogamy is obvious. Monogamy doesn't work. Don't tell anybody. It will never work. On the other hand, um, polygamy, yeah, polygamy
Uh-huh.
is like if it's open and it's out on the table, then it's okay. If you go, I don't believe in like going behind the back and and doing stuff, and especially somebody that you like and trusts you, and like going and doing like like basically backstabbing that person. I don't believe in that, but I don't
So you don't
believe
believe in what about don't ask, don't tell? That's you go and do things, but you don't ask, you don't tell.
it's this approach is very popular in the Eastern European thing. But
Mhm.
then once you get caught, and everybody gets caught eventually. Come on, like shit always floats. When shit hits the fan, you're in trouble. Even though it's like not, not she gave you the idea that it was okay or was not so bad. I think. I think that once you, at least I'm gonna speak from my side. When you meet somebody, and like obviously at first she's like, no way, it's never gonna happen. Are you fucking kidding me? I'll see you with another girl. I'll fucking murk you. Blah blah blah. It's always starts like that. But then slowly, once you trust and you get into a relationship, slowly it will open up because it's natural. Everybody does that. I believe. I don't know. Um, I think it just takes time. Some girls it would take less time. Some girls it would take more time. But if you don't have anything to hurry, I would just let her ride. I'm sure she would come to you and say, "Hey, how about like let's try with a girl?" Like stuff like that. This is from my
Mhm.
experience. All my life it's been like this.
Yeah.
Because they like they have their egos, and they're like what, you gotta bring another girl home? Never, over my dead body. I'll kill you, I'll kill her, I'll kill the whole block. Yeah, that's fine, but then slowly it's curiosity, and it's like a little bit, and it's becoming mainstream, like this, threesomes and stuff like that. It's already like, like it's not like 15 to 20 years ago when it was like, oh my god, you had a threesome. Today it's like it's part of us. So I believe it will come. I don't even put it on the table right now.
Yeah.
uh,
So you don't
but it's,
even bring it up. You just
no,
assume at
no.
some point it'll likely naturally happen.
Yeah, it happens every time. And actually, I've been proven that every time with every girl. It's always like this. It
Yeah.
starts very harshly, never over my dead body. And then she's the one that's thing. Because again, I believe that's their ego, and they're like, how do I like live with myself if I think. But then once she gets comfortable, she understands that she's number one, and she's like this and that, and then comfortable when they're comfortable enough and they trust you enough, I think they usually come and themselves offer that, or like
They usually
educate.
instigate it. Yeah.
And
I,
then
I
once
I think
once
they'll
that
instigate it. They'll instigate it if they think you're the type of guy who can handle it. If you don't seem like that type of guy, then I think they'll be like, oh, he's not ready for that, and then they won't. Because I've seen that happen with
That's
guys
also
I've.
true. Managing a threesome, it's not an easy breezy thing, especially when there's feelings involved. Like it's not a simple thing as every like all the guys, most of the guys think. Oh yeah, I came in, I did that, did this, 50-50, and it's not like that. There's a lot of management skills and people skills that are involved in that, and you have to be a very very big emotional intelligence to see and feel and understand, like where the wind is blowing,
Right.
and acting accordingly. Because let's face it, like every girl's thing is that it's very simple. It's stupid, but it's very simple. Oh, what happens if he likes her more than me? He's gonna, oh yeah, bitch, I'm gonna get up, like throw your shit out of the house and move her shit. you know, that's that's all they worry about. All they worry about. They always would tell me, like my ex-girlfriends would say, oh, let's have sex with another girl, but somebody that we don't know. Because, like, A, they don't want people talking about it, even though they will talk about themselves after. And
Yeah.
B, that, oh, maybe he likes my friend better than he likes me. Maybe now he's gonna be, having I don't know, like moving her in and like moving me out. This is all they care about. And uh, when they're comfortable enough with you and they trust you enough, all that leaves the room, just disappears.
Yeah. That's basically been my experience too. Um, did so you guys haven't had any conversations about that? Things have just kind of naturally been
Uh,
going in the
we're
direction of being closer. How much are you guys going out and partying together?
huh?
How much are you guys going out and partying together?
Once a week like we used to, but she
Hmm.
doesn't, like party so hardcore. So she just like, at one point she just goes and sleeps, and we like continue parties and stuff like that. That's what I also like about her, that she doesn't stay up all night and like
Yeah.
this and that. She just like she drinks, and then she goes to sleep. Um,
Yeah.
and then it's fair, right? Like, also don't, I don't hide anything from her. I'm like, listen, like we're all here. This is my party home. Like, everybody's here. She's sleeping in the other room, so there's no problems, right? She's not jealous. She's not worried about anything happening
Mhm.
and thing. But I think I'm gonna slow down a little bit partying anyways, because I'm never gonna stop. I think even at age of 80, I'll be partying somewhere sometimes. But I think like slowing down for at least for like a little while,
Mhm.
also for uh, even just like health reasons, just to like like we've been
Yeah.
partying hard. I don't think it's such a bad thing. So we'll see. But in general, like I'm always like open-minded and dynamic. If if that's how I feel like doing, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna like convince her that it's fine doing it. But if not, then not. So
Right.
parties is not an issue. Um, I don't know. We'll see down the road. I never say never.
Yeah. Do you guys how have you found the like day-to-day living together routine lifestyle emerging? Like you work from home obviously, and a lot of you're in
Well,
events.
now I have a reason to go out. Now- now- so so now she's studying. She's in the university, right? So she's got her studies here in my office. So she sits there. I go downstairs in the the downstairs the coffee shop, the really cool one. I'm just having all my whole work day is just down there, like
Mhm.
meetings, sit downs with people. Like it's amazing. So it's great and gives me a chance to to get out of the house.
I think
I
that's
know.
important, and I think that's a struggle that a lot of couples are facing now, of course, during quarantine, um, and especially during like people are working remotely, um, and babe, I'm doing a podcast. Turn that shit off. So yeah, now the fact that people are working from home and you can end up like being in the same room working, but it's not the same as how most couples used to experience, their normal everyday lifestyle where, the traditional like back in the 50s, 60s, guys would go to work, they go to the office from 9 to 5, they'd come home, have dinner together as a family, do something at night. But that time apart, I feel like is important
Of
because
course it is. Of course it is.
yeah,
It's so I don't know. I don't read like local news here in Ukraine, but in Israel, domestic violence and like a lot of women got killed because people got they put them in a room. You cannot leave. You cannot. It's very stressful. Like not only girls, like with guys, I cannot be always like I need like to go. I need to think about my stuff. I need to like I cannot be always like in the same thing. Yeah, when you have the honeymoon period and stuff like that, okay, but that's not reality. Reality
right.
is really like it's very 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 mentally challenging to be stuck in one person in like in a box.
Yeah.
In Israel, domestic violence went like hundreds of percents up, like crazy. But I can see that it's not, that's why I claim that, this whole quarantine and all this whatever like lockdowns for Corona is actually the medicine is more more hurting than the, than the virus itself because
Totally.
men like even sitting like by yourself, first of all by yourself, being on lockdown by yourself, not being able to do anything, it's very challenging mentally. Then it's even more challenging when you have somebody that like your wife, that let's face it, not everybody fucking even likes their wives, and then she's like she's got her opinion, you got your opinion, and then like this and that, but then you cannot leave because usually you at least know that you can get up and leave. Here you just say like I have to listen to this, and then you snap, and then anything can happen, you know
Yeah.
and then
Imagine being in a situation where you're with a woman who you're not, like your marriage or your relationship is kind of on the rocks, and then you've got 2 or 3 kids, and the kids are now at home because schools are closed, and you're all stuck together. Oh my God.
really
Like,
I don't know what I would do. Bro, I would jump from the window. I don't understand. Like, and I know like a lot of my friends like back home, back in Canada, that are in a marriage that they are already just there, just not to lose their shirt on the divorce, or because of the children. They always find a reason why to stay. But let's face it, they hate each other, like hate each other passionately, and being in that situation and then locking yourselves against your will. I don't know what I would do, honestly. I don't know if I never hit a woman in my life, But in this situation, I don't know. It could be
Yeah.
really.
People are driven to crazy things. Well, it it kind of goes back to the, you know how they say like during times of horrible economic collapse or recession, people that have positioned themselves make the most money, right? So, and people who don't see it coming or who didn't position
We're
themselves
not
properly can
prepared
get
for a
fucked.
crisis. Yeah.
And I think the same goes for socially, where I know so many guys that, you know, they were like, yeah, I'm just going to focus on work, or, you know, they didn't put in the time or effort in their social life prior to Corona. And now that, you know, it's
If you
tough to
were
take a girl on a
alone,
date.
now you're 10 times more alone. Yeah.
Exactly. You can't take a girl on a date because shit's closed. Girls are hesitant to meet and they're flaky because they don't want to get Corona and bring it back to their, you know, parents or
And
aging
you're
grandparents.
already reflecting something that is not, it's like psychologically, like it's a momentum, I guess, or whatever, or like enough experience that when you even in messages, when you talk in messages, sometimes, I feel that you're hesitant or your thing. So if you didn't have this for the past 10 years, you didn't practice your social skills, your you know just by typing SMS, like texting to a girl and trying to get her like thing, you already project uncomfortable
Yeah,
situation. Without you saying it, she feels that
totally.
something is not a thing, and it's gonna be very hard for somebody that is um, not even like very good at it, but just feeling comfortable with speaking with other girls and just being yourself and being comfortable. It's very important. But once you don't put in any effort to that, and you always at home in front of a computer working, yeah, important stuff. um, Once you don't practice just speaking and just like communicating with people in corona times, this will like come
Yeah.
out 10 times more, and it will be very hard. Like I really feel sorry for people like that, and I would, if I can help, you will leave my information there when we're done.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I'll drop that there.
You want to
And yeah,
chat?
just to wrap up, because I
Yeah,
think we covered a lot of interesting points. One is don't change for a woman, right? Um,
definitely.
two is um, you never know when the next pandemic or lockdown is happening. So if you're in a position where it's not a lockdown, don't neglect your social life,
Yeah.
because like if you do, you're just going to be more lonely and more stuck. That's kind of what we just talked about.
Social life is not less important than making money and being
Exactly.
successful.
Yeah.
It's part of you, who you are, and it's something that you can work on. It's not, you don't have to say, oh, I was born shy. I think I was born shy too, but you
Yep.
can change that. The more you talk, it's like riding a bicycle or doing anything. The more you talk to just people, and then you challenge yourself more and more and more and more, that's who you become. So there's no reason for saying, oh, I was shy, or I don't have any social skills. It's very easy. Just talk to people, talk to this, always, you know talk to other people, feel comfortable with who you are. That's all social thing is. Just be comfortable, just speak. That's it.
Yeah. Takes practice for sure. Well, cool, man. It's been fun as always. Let's do this again soon.
When are you coming back to the Holy Land in
The
Kiev?
land of milk and honey. Probably like February, March, maybe later. We can stay for 6 months in Mexico, but I want to get back and ski a little bit. So maybe come back a
Let's do
little.
a trip to Bucavel or something like that when you come back.
Yeah,
But
that'd be fun.
after February, it's gonna be too late. If you come back in January or something like that, tell our viewers here that Bucavel is like the Alps. It's like the Black Comb Mountain in thing. It's like the local Ukrainian ski resort.
Yeah,
If you
it's
guys
not
have a
bad.
chance, come visit.
Yeah. Or we could go to Gudaori, Georgia. That's pretty good too.
I heard about
Any-
that. Yeah. But you know, we go with 15, 20 girls, you know, you gotta buy them plane tickets and stuff like that. Here we catch the train.
Train's not cheap. Oh, we
All
can do a couple.
Well,
All right, cool, buddy.
Thanks for listening. If you want more, go to innerconfidence.com and don't forget to subscribe to this podcast for the latest episodes.